If there's any one single person that I can single out who has done that extra mile as far as promotion of social cohesion is concerned, that is Ishwar Ramlutchman.
Ishwar's got a heart and soul for humanitarian aid, because he has got no limits when it comes to changing people's lives, when it comes to uplifting people.
What his left hand do, his right hand does not know. So that is a great asset from a man who has contributed so much to humanity.
It is impossible to write or talk about the history of the Zulu monarch, the late Isilo, without mentioning Ishwar or Mabheka.
An Indian son of a king of the Zulus. I mean, that's something special.
I grew up in Kwadugoza. Then we used to call it Stanga. At that time my family was very poor, but my mom and dad made sure that we are well taken care, and that they needed to work hard to ensure that we have a better life. I recall my mom working very hard in the garden for people and washing clothes, just to ensure that we have a good living. And also my dad used to work for his parents, and one thing I give thanks to them, because they work very hard, mainly just to ensure that we are well taken care of.
Ishwar was born in Stanga Hospital, and he was growing up very nice child, and he always helping, doing everything. And if anything, if I want, I'll tell him that I'm tired. He say, no ma, don't worry, I'll sweep the yard for you, I'll help you, what you want. When the children was growing up, and it was very difficult. We didn't have money for luxuries, and we just, what little we had, we used. We should stay near there only by the scrapyard, and when we didn't have food and all, anything, then I should go and work in the scrapyard, should pick the small things. And Ishwar, because he was small, he didn't know nothing, he'll follow me and come. Yes, sometimes he wants to sleep, and then I'll put one mat, and then he'll sleep, and I'll be busy doing my work, and then when finish everything, then I'll take him and go home.
Ishwar and I were practically brothers growing up. We had a good relationship, especially at the time where his dad had passed away. And as good friends, we were there for each other. What appealed to me with regards to Ishwar is his personality. A man of very humble beginnings, a man of absolute good friendly qualities. Ishwar was a kind of character that was easy to talk to, easy to make friends with. And he was real. That's what I'm saying. There's nothing fabricated about him. Many of the high flyers wouldn't have thought much of Ishwar. But like I'm saying, when you sat and spoke to him, you could see that this man was deep. Even at a young age, he was deep. The thoughts that he had, the humility, the love that he had.
At a very young age, we were introduced to the Divine Life Society. Every Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, we used to attend services at the ashram. There was one service that His Holiness Sri Swami Sahajananda, the spiritual head of the Divine Life Society, was a guest of honor at that function. Since then, I drew all my attention towards him and started to focus on the spiritual aspect of my life at a very young age, because he always was very inspirational towards us. He invited me to come and stay at the ashram during school holidays. So I went and lived at the ashram for 2 weeks in Reservoir Hills at the Divine Life Society headquarters. And Swamiji at that time was very strict. He was very meticulous. Everything becomes divine work. We say in Indian culture, to be a karma yogi, you do selfless service, and you do selfless service with your hands, and that's what he taught me. Since then, I've always been very active at the ashram at a very young age. Even when I finished my metric, I used to spend a lot of time, my weekends used to be at the ashram cutting grass. I used to cut even the stadium grass all by myself, just as a service to my divine master, Sri Swami Sahajananda. When I was 21 years old, he put me onto the board of management of the Divine Life Society, and later for 2 years made me the youngest chairperson of the institution. And that's where I learned a lot, how to deal with people, how to be always active, and to ensure that we must remain humble no matter what credit come to us. I was very unfortunate that I couldn't study after a metric, but what really drove me was the teachings of my master. Swami Shivananda teachings is so simple and practical: to serve, love, give, purify, meditate, realize, be good, do good, be kind, be compassionate, serve others. He was very clear about it. Service to humankind is worship of God, and that's how I continued serving the people of our country at large. And Swami Sahajananda himself was an inspiration to me, because he built over 300 schools during apartheid days to ensure that kids in the rural areas are well educated. Today we can be proud that the people of KwaZulu-Natal were very fortunate that infrastructure was given to them.
I started building schools because the budget from Pretoria was not enough. Then God, being such a wonderful father, I come across a great religious Hindu priest by the name of His Holiness Sahajananda, Swami Sahajananda. We became close. So the Divine Life Society assisted us with money. And the Swami and myself came to the conclusion that for every rand that they're going to put a rand. We built thousands of schools throughout KwaZulu, you know.
So during my early days, I used to be very fond of the African Zulu communities, because we lived amongst them. They worked for my grandfather, and we always interacted. And as I went on in life, I always had that yearning within me to meet the Zulu king and the Prime Minister, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. It was always in my heart to meet them. I got a job as a driver in Matubatuba, and that's when I decided that en route to Nongoma to deliver goods, I will pass and look for His Majesty King Goodwill Zwelithini Kabaka Zulu, the king of the Zulu nation. And to my surprise, when I got to Nongoma, I asked a lot of people where the king resided, and they directed me to the king's residence. And I was very fortunate that that particular day His Majesty was in the office. And when I got there, the secretary at that time, Mrs. Zama Ngobo, welcomed me, and she asked me a lot of questions for 1 hour. And I constantly kept on asking her, when is the king going to come? When is the king going to come? And eventually she said to me, no, the king will see you, just be patient. And after a few minutes, then she led me into the room of His Majesty. His Majesty was very surprised that why would a young person come just to meet him, you know, without any reason. He was very confused that what is it that I want, because I never asked him for anything. All what I wanted is just to salute him and to meet him. And that's how we connected, because I strongly feel that my coming together with His Majesty is all ordained by God, because when we connected, it was as if we knew each other for a very long time. And I always yearned to meet him. And on that particular day, he also called Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi and Her Royal Highness the Queen of Kangela Makengan, Queen Dlamini, to also come and meet me, and I was quite fortunate.
Ishwar Ramlutchman became so close to our people, to our king, to us, to the extent that the king adopted him as his son. Actually, I was a bit jealous because I had regarded him as my son, you see. But since the king is my nephew, I mean, you couldn't claim him as our son, both of us. So then he became my grandson after that.
When I adopted Ishwar Ramlutchman, I gave him a name of Mabheka Zulu. The adoption of dedicated and diligent subjects in the Zulu kingdom was always done by my predecessors. King Shaka, King Cetshwayo, and King Dinizulu, to name a few. As Mabheka has become an additional member of our family, whom I always refer to as a daughter Nayetu, our son. The name Mabheka means the one who cares for my people. This was done after his heroic dedication and achievements in saving the poor of the poorest in the kingdom of the province of KwaZulu-Natal.
When he adopted me as a son, and he given me a name, Mabheka Zulu, and he said to me, I must keep the name that my parents gave me, then it became Ishwar Ramlutchman Mabheka Zulu.
Mabheka is a Zulu name which means to look after some things which are of value, Mabheka. And because of that, then he was sort of a member of the Zulu royal family, because he's the king who had gave him that name. So it was good as Prince Mabheka. So in all the functions of the Zulu nation, he was here close to the king. And that was the very first thing, because there was no Indian who had done that.
His Majesty, being a fatherly figure to everyone, and especially me being an Indian, he always said that I'm Indian by birth, but I'm Zulu. He always mentioned that, and he was very clear. But to me, I took it as a gift from him, because whatever His Majesty showered upon us, it was all like gifts to us. And I took it in that spirit. And one thing, I never let it go to my head, because we were there to serve His Majesty.
I was part of the thinking process around the role of Ishwar in the grand plan of the late Zulu monarch when it comes to social cohesion. we had these Afro-Indian dialogues. Immediately when they knew that the king was coming, everyone was there now, but when we started it, they said, no, this thing won't work. Interestingly, in that seminar, as much as he said, I'm quoting him, from now on, I will make sure that I lead an initiative that will result in a better relationship between African and Indians now and beyond. And I will adopt Indians, whether as individuals, as groups, as schools, as organizations, so that there will be better understanding, because I believe that lack of information or ignorance from both groups sometimes create this unnecessary conflict, unquote. Not everyone from Africans, Indians, loved the idea of the Zulu monarch and a Mabheka. Many people from the Indian community approached the king in saying no to this guy. They even suggested who should play that role of uniting or of organizing the Indian community. From the Zulu people, also people came and say, why now? Because if you are doing that, people will think you are captured. I'm using the term captured, it's a new term, but that was the implication then. And His Majesty was steady in saying, no, this young man, that's what he used, I will assist him, and time will also assist him to understand these mistakes, but his mission will stand. That of being the link person, of being the spokesperson of the Indian community when it comes to programs of social cohesion. We were instructed in 2012 by His Majesty to make sure that between 2012 and at least 2015 or 2016, we are organizing Indians to come to Enyogeni and attend Umkhosi Umhlanga. And Mabheka was the person to do that. His Majesty wanted it to be different. He wanted them to participate, not to attend. And we understood then participating as being part of the Zulu maiden regiments. And all of us at the time were puzzled by how that will happen. How people will accept that. Who are these Indian young people who will come and join? So there was a lot of debate. But guess what? It happened. Ishwar Mabheka was able to organize this Indian group, which was for the first time came as participants, not as spectators. They were not tourists. They participated as per the instruction of His Majesty, and everyone respected that, and everyone accepted that it is possible going forward. Isilo used Mabheka. He used him to ensure that there is better understanding. I remember him saying during one Diwali event, he said it's high time that we move from tolerating each other into accepting each other. And through Mabheka assisted the late king to move all of us from tolerating each other into accepting each other.
There are many people, of course, with whom we related, with whom we interacted among the Indian people in politics and even just socially. But if there's any one single person they can single out who has done that extra mile as far as promotion of social cohesion is concerned, that is Ishwar Ramlutchman. And the remarkable thing, he has no qualms of any sort, in relating, not only relating to the king and to us. At his age, as a young businessman, but his acts of philanthropy amongst our people are remarkable.
The man from the humble beginning came up now to be accepted by everybody because of tangible things he did. If a person say, what about this Indian? Why do you bring that Indian? And then the people will explain to them. They say, is he not the one who built the hall? Is he not the one who built some dilapidated housing? And then people will keep quiet. Because they had come to realize that his work is very, very good for giving hope to the people.
Mabheka has made big difference in the lives of my people. In a country with a history of violence, it is commendable that Ramlutchman has erected many temples and churches to promote culture and belief in spirituality. He has built low-cost homes for destitute families, provided water and sanitation for needy communities. History was made when Ramlutchman became the first Indian to be adopted by the Zulu royal monarch and was appointed as a trustee of the Royal Household Trust. Mabheka Zulu, Ishwar Ramlutchman, at such a young age, has done so much in saving the poorest of the poor. Today, we are filled with joy and pride to see Mabheka continue to serve the people of South Africa. Mabheka has set an example for all young people in our country. I wish him continue with his exemplary leadership throughout his life's journey. Actually, he deserved to be honored.
You can see all the peace pillars in South Africa. Those big granite peace pillars. That brings a united nation. When you bring in the Indian nation into the Zulu nation and the African nation. And it actually makes us come together because he puts these things in places where you won't see certain individuals, but you'll see this pillar and it'll tell you so many stories because there's so many prayers on the story or on these pillars which actually bring us all together.
These pillars are an inspiration to the communities in KwaZulu-Natal. It gives the spirit of hope amongst everyone. And I went to all the communities. Wherever I went, we always fostered good relations amongst the people. And where there was violence, we encouraged that violence should stop. And we brought both the communities together and we installed monuments. So this is all divine work because peace is something that we all need, and I felt it very important that these peace pillars should reach out to various communities. And today we have installed over 17 peace pillars across the country. South Africa is unique that we have a rainbow nation, but equally we need to practically demonstrate that, because if we do not live together with our neighbors, we won't be very profound to say that we live in a rainbow nation, because South Africa is a country that if everyone can practice that, we will live in a very beautiful country.
I would say in a country like South Africa, where the unemployment is 66%, we definitely need many people like Ishwar Ramlutchman, who's a pioneer in that event. We definitely need them because there are a lot of people who are poverty-stricken, who have nothing to eat. So because of that, we definitely need more and more Ishwars, because his story is not a story of a man rising up to be praised or for selfish reason, but it's a man who's worried also about the people who are downtrodden. So we need a number of those.
I'm certain that Swamiji Ramlutchman, where he is as proud as all of us are of this young man. Not because he has become an Indian Zulu, but right across all colors, even across even that, he's not aligned to any particular political party, but right across, without a discrimination, we all have developed a very deep love for him, and we pay very great tribute for having walked that extra mile.
To see him reach the levels of life, of career, of goals that he has reached, it's absolutely amazing. And he totally baffled all of us, because we never on a single day would have even thought Ishwar would have reached the places that he has reached today. But on that note, you know, my hats off to him, and it makes me proud as a friend and a brother to him to say, you know what, where you've gone, my man, is because of your qualities, because of the fact that you put family and God first, and he was able to accomplish great things just because of those two qualities.
We can go on whole day speaking about his achievements, but I don't think his achievements will matter in the words, other than to say, here is a soul who is dedicated for the service of humanity. Let us pray that God give him enough strength and God give him the courage and the good health that he requires to carry on this work. It's been an absolute pleasure to work with an impeccable soul, a soul who is down to earth, who knows that to be humble, a person who is approachable, a person who has the kindness and the dedication one requires of a great soul. He is worthy of being a saint. He is a very saintly figure, and I believe the community owe him a debt of gratitude.
I stand before you this evening to celebrate the very interesting function that we have for Mabheka Ishwar Ramlutchman. The first day I met him, he was not even 40 years. Because he celebrated his 40 years, I think, almost about 2 to 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, in Coastlands Hotel. Yeah. He had some wishes within himself. What can he do for the nation of His Majesty? But what was important that Mabheka has done, he made himself to be part and parcel of us, as he is now. How can I help the poor? For traditional leaders here in my kingdom who are landless, in those landlets, there are people who are homeless, But Mabheka is not the government. He's doing a lot of humanitarian work. Where people that should give support to the poor, to the homeless. He cannot do to all of them. But he helps the people to have shelter. We thank you for that, Mabheka. That's why God is showering such blessings over you. Now you must ensure you clearly figure out who's in fire. Ngazi uswami mina. He was just like a grandfather to him, although he was a spiritual man to him. That's why he has been so inspired. Because what used to be done by Sivananda, he was not just doing it just here in the kingdom of the Zulu. He was going across the borders of the kingdom to other provinces. That's what Mabheka is doing. We always invite you. I always send you somewhere. I always ask you to help. And you always help without getting any permission from me. You need not to seek permission from me. And then you always inform me that you have done it. And I always see things on TV that you have just hand over some buildings. As the one building, the one house that you have asked me to hand over. I know very well what Mabheka is doing to the issue of social cohesion is concerned. As I mentioned in my earlier presentation, the dictum that people of exceptional leadership, intellectual and spiritual power are ahead of their time rings through for Mabheka's life's journey we are celebrating. Indeed, over the years, Mabheka has become an additional member of our family, whom I always refer to as Indodana Yetu. You are our son. And your wife is our daughter-in-law. So his commitment and promotion of social cohesion, nature, conversation, and in respect for everyone's cultural heritage and religion has earned him our respect. When I adopted Ishwar Ramlutchman, I gave him a name of Mabheka Zulu because he was a caring man, a caring person. I must thank you for that, Ishwar. Would you have that insight within yourself for the monarch and the monarchy itself? As I'm talking to you today, was just within the monarchy members. Uthi qhubeka kakhudlwana. Qhubeka kakhudlwana. Take it further. Carry on with what you are doing for my people.